Hey, you guys, it's Mr. Mini Guru here with another video from Micro Fundamentals, Week 2, Understanding Batch Files. We're going to be going over some keywords, critical thinking. I'll show you a couple of labs, and then my works cited page. Here are the keywords: vocabulary echo, which is a command, displays a line of text. Rem records comments or remarks in a batch file. CD changes or displays the current drive. MD creates a directory or subdirectory. Path specifies the drive and directory to set in the command path. Pause stops the execution of the path file until a key is pressed. CLS clears the command prompt screen. What are some ways in which you may determine if a batch file is beneficial? When you need to perform similar administrative tasks on a regular basis on a single computer, when you need to perform a series of administrative tasks on a number of computers in the network, when you want to run a specific administrative task on remote computers and it's not possible to go to the computer and work on a GUI, which is the graphical user interface, when you want to organize the output of commands run on a computer, and when you need to repeat exactly the same administrative task on a number of computers. Why do conditional processing commands and operators increase the power of batch files? They increase the power of batch files because they give you the ability to test a variable against the value and act in one way if the condition is met by the variable, or in another way if it's not. If you're familiar with Excel formulas, this will be considered a logical argument. What are some uses for Windows scripting document? It starts and stops services, resets your networking connections, pings devices or websites, and so much more. Why is it important to document the lines of a batch program, and how might you do that, and why should you? It is important to document the line of a batch file program to remember, and for anyone else that views your batch file to know what the commands and file is for. To document your lines, you can use the command REM. When creating batch files, why do you need to plan for the use of CLS, pause, and echo commands for troubleshooting and flow of your program? Using the CLS command on your prompt will clear the screen of all current information. Pause causes the command prompt to pause the current process and requires the push of a key to continue, and echo displays desired text. All of these are important because echo shows the process that you have mapped out. Pause stops the process so that you are able to see the steps. And CLS clears any information that does not need to be on the screen. And we'll see examples of this. All right, first example we're going to go over is the CD, and it's going to show our current directory. So in this next example, I'm going to change the directory. I'm changing the directory just to the C drive, as you see, and I check the directory. Now I'm going to use that same command, the CD command, and I'm going to go back to the main Windows System 32 directory. Now we're going to use that CLS to clear the screen. Then we'll get rid of that data that we don't need. Now I'm going to open up this folder because what we're going to do now is we're going to create a folder or create the directory in command prompt. And to do this, we use that command MD. And then you're going to write, or you're going to create the folder that you want, but you have to create it correctly. But this is what happens when you don't create them correctly. You get an error. Directory or file cannot be created. And that's because this was written incorrectly. So I'm going to go back in, I'm going to write it correctly this time, and then it's going to create that folder that I'm requesting. All right, and then we go back to our Explorer, and we see that those folders that I specified have been created. Mr. Mini Guru, and then my first video. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to use that CD command in order to make that our active directory. And that's what I've done. So I've made the initial folder of Mr. Mini Guru. That's going to be our active search. Now I want to go in and make it so that our active directory is the Mr. Mini Guru, my first video. Again, in order for you to do it, it has to be put in correctly. As I said before, I'm going to do the errors. I'm going to make the errors. That way you can see what the errors look like when they're made. The system is going to tell you what you did wrong. So I created the I apologize. I've moved and made this current directory the directory that I just created. So now I'm going to go back and I am going to go back to the Windows System 32 directory. Okay, so now we're going to clear the screen. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to remove those folders. And to remove the folders, you'll use the command rmdir, and that's just to remove directory. So you press in that command, space, and then you have to type in the directory that you wish to remove. So I'm going to go to the Explorer, and as you see, it removed the directory my first video, just like I asked it to. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to have it remove the Mr. Mini Guru folder. And as you can tell, I'm using capital and lowercase because the command prompt, it doesn't matter. And as you can see, it's gone. I'm going to clear the screen. Now, this next one is for the directory. We have 3 different commands for directory that I'm going to give examples on. You have the regular directory, to bring up the directories on your computer. You have the directory space /p, which what it does is it brings up your directories only at a window at a time. So this allows you to look at the information that's being presented in front of you instead of it zooming past you really fast like you see. And then so after that window is filled, it gives you the option to press the key to continue. The next one is dir/s. Now what this is this gives you the directory, the subdirectory, and the contents within that directory, as you see is doing now. Now, if you type in dir/s, or I apologize, dir space/s space/p, and what it does is it's going to give you those subdirectories with the pause, because that /p is for the pause. It lets command prompt know that you only want to see a window at a time. A lot of directories. Okay. I'm just letting the computer do what it does. A lot of directories and subdirectories. I apologize. All right, got a little carried away there. The next command is going to be FTYPE, and that's going to, and that what that does is that's going to bring the different file types that you have in the current path that you're in, or in your computer. I apologize. All right. All right, next is we're going to do the IPCONFIG. We're going to send some files and then delete some files. So the IPCONFIG, or Internet Protocol, is going to bring up all your information about your connection. So you just type in IPFIG and there you go. It brings your connection, your IP4 address, submasking net, default gateway. Now let's just say you need this information in a text file. Somebody needs this information. Well, you can do that. That's what we're going to do. First, what we're going to do is we're going to create a folder like we did previously to place this text information in. So I'm going to create a folder. It's going to be Mr. Mini Guru / net information. That folder is created. Now that that folder is created, I am going to create an output. I'm going to output this IPFig configuration information into this folder and subfolder that I've created. And to do that, you would just type in an IPFig, the same thing that we typed in before to bring up our IP configuration. And then you will place an arrow in. The arrow is going to be an indication of output. Where is it going? Where is this IP? What do you want this IP configuration to go to? Well, I want this IP configuration to go to this folder, Mr. Mini Guru, net information. So when I press enter, it'll give me that information that I had on my command prompt in a text file. All right, so now we're going to remove those files using the rmdir command. Okay, and as you see, it does not recognize it as an internal external command. And that is because I spelled it wrong. It's very, you have to get it correct. So in order to remove the drive, it's rmdir, not DRI as I placed. I apologize. So when I tried to remove it, it wouldn't remove it because it told me that the directory was not empty. And that's because that text file is in there. And in order to delete a text file, you have to use a different command, and it's delete, DEL. So what I want to do is I want to go in, I want to delete that text file first. And as you see, I did. Now that the text file is deleted, I can go in and I can delete my folders now because there's no longer any use for them. Just type in there rmdir and then the path that is that you want to delete. And notice that it gave me an error, the directory is not empty. So it gave me that information because I was trying to delete the main folder with a folder inside of that folder. So the information wasn't empty. Same thing like when it's a text file, there's information in there. So now that I've removed the text, removed the subfolder, now I can remove the main folder. And as you see, it's all gone. All right, so now we're going to be using call and creating a batch file inside the command line interface. So using call explorer brings up your explorer, or being call notepad will bring up your notepad. And this is very useful when you want to create batch files because you can create batch files either in your notepad or you can create them on your command line interface directly, which is what we're going to do right now. Okay, so what this is copy con, which is copy contents. And then I gotta tell it where I wanted to copy contents at. So I wanted to copy the contents in dirip.bat, which is a batch, the batch file. That's the extension for it. So from in here, we can create the batch file inside of command prompt. And I'm writing the batch file now. I want the CD, the dir, which we did previously. We want to get the directory information, right? But I also want to get the IP configuration information, which is what we did earlier as well. All right. So I also want to get the directory, and I want to pause it. I want to be able to see it window by window. Okay. And then it's going to prompt me when it's completed. Control Z tells it to stop. I'm no longer listening to it. So now that I have created my batch file within the command line interface, I'm going to go and I'm going to call that batch file. And to do that, I use the same way that I would call the Explorer and call the Notepad. I would type in call, and then I would refer to the file that I want to call. So in this case, it's the batch. And notice that I didn't put any clear in there or pause, so it's just bringing me up all my information. Just going to bring me up all my directories, going to bring me up my IP information, everything. It's bringing it all up. And then it has that prompt that I explained that it was going to bring up. Now we're going to see, let's going to clear our screen. So this is a batch file that I created. It's a extenuation, I guess you could say, of my lab test that I had to take for week 2. So what I have done is I modified the second one to want to play a game. And let me try to go over this just a little bit. So at the top you have echo off. And the reason why is because you want to turn off that echo. You don't want it to be repeating more than once anything that you've written in the text line. So you're going to turn that echo off. Echo is literal. It's an echo. Next is to clear the screen. I want to clear that information that I just noticed. I don't want to say echo off on it. I want to go on. Rem is create a menu. So that rem is that section where it's not going to show on the command prompt line. It's more for you to know that it's creating a menu. Then we have our menu, clear. And then our echoes go all the way down. And what these echoes are doing is writing these lines down on the command prompt. So when you look in the command prompt, you're going to see not the echoes, but it's going to give you the option of 1, 2, and 3. And next to it is going to say send IP information in Notepad and open. You want to play a game? I don't know. I laughed. It is what it is. And then exit. So and then next it's going to rem get user information set p response equals to enter your choice. So that set p, I'm going to make a video on sets and paths and things of that nature, but set p is telling me to set this response so that when I put in a choice, that choice becomes that set value. So remember to figure out what they picked. So if the response is 1, that's exactly what it's saying, just like a command, just like with Excel. If the response, those percent signs are variables, it's so that you're allowed to. It's that in the inside of it is the variable that you will use in order for it to be replaced with. So that response is going to be replaced with 1, for example, depending on what you put, what the user input is. So if I press 1, it's going to go to the Explorer. It's going to go to the note for 2, or it's going to go to exit for 3. Now you might be thinking right now, well, is it going to open up the Explorer? Is it going to open up the Notepad? It's not. So what it's going to do is if you look, it says rem. If it's not 1, 2, or 3, must be an error. This is letting you know that you only have 3 choices that you can choose from. Next is echo, only enter 1, 2, or 3. So what's going to happen is it's going to tell you only enter in 1, 2, or 3. That's what the echo is for, to let you know. It's going to repeat that line and take that line text to you. Then pause because I want to wait for that answer. Then go to menu. So when I give that answer, when you put in 1 for the response, that 1 is going to be reverted to that if statement, that logical statement. And it's going to say, okay, if percentage, 1%. It's saying that, okay, so you chose number 1. Your response is 1. So since your response is 1, you're going to go to Explorer, EXPL. So if you look, EXPL, the information down there is to get the IP configuration and place it inside of the micro disk 1 and create a text file of IP text. Next, when you press enter, this is a different command. I want to open that file. So when we open the file, I type in where the file is located at. If I type in note, this is why do you want to play a game? thought it was interesting. So what it's going to do when you go to note is it's going to go to the second line where it says colon second ed, and it's going to call the notepad. So it's going to open your notepad. After you open your notepad and you close your notepad, although it's going to go to the first line. And the first line says to call notepad. And then so once you close your notepad, it's going to open the notepad right back up. And then after you close the notepad again, the instruction says for it to go to second, which is to open the notepad. So I created kind of a loop to make it so that every time you exit out of the notepad, it's going to force it to open up the notepad. It never gets to that done. It never gets back to the menu because of the way that it's set up. It's always going to go backward. So here's my works cited page. This is where I got my information from, as well as the book that I'm studying and reading. I hope this was informational. I'm going to make more of these. I'm going to get better every single time I make them. Every single time I make them, the quality is going to get better. Every time I make them, the information is going to get better. The lab is going to get more complicated, and I'm going to have more and more fun with it. This was just my very first time doing it, so mistakes are expected, I guess you could say. I don't know what the word is, but I'm glad that you came in. I'm glad that you watched it. I hope it was informational at all. I hope you took something from it. But if not, I hope you like the background at least. I don't know. But hey, this is Mr. Mini Guru signing off. And as always, let's learn together.